Today we're going to be talking about maybe one of the hardest things to do in MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty, and that is make World Series division in ranked seasons. As someone that made World Series a ton last year, I'm going to be giving you guys my tips on how to make World Series as soon as possible in MLB The Show 22. If you're excited for this one, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it, but I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get it.
Minika, watch me on Twitch, ooh, I'm streaming. I'm on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, red button beaming. Let's get that sub count, take over YouTube, ooh, we teaming. My content so high, ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Red button beaming.
All right, so we are going to be talking about how to make World Series in ranked seasons in MLB The Show 22 Diamond Dynasty. Now, it's going to take a while to make World Series because we are at the beginning of the year. Chances are your rating is starting from 0. So we're going to take a look here at ranked seasons and what you need to do to actually get into World Series. There is a lot of divisions that you have to pass to get to that 900 rating of World Series. Right now, I am ranked 385, and to give you guys a good understanding of how many wins you need to get to about 385, that's going to be 7-0. And as you get higher up into division, games are going to give you less rating for winning. Unless you're playing somebody that's a lot better than you, chances are you're not going to be getting more than about 20 to 25 points per win as you get high up there in division. So right now, I am in regular season. Like I said, I'm only ranked 385. I haven't had enough chance to play enough to actually get close to getting to World Series, but that's because I'm putting out a lot of videos on the channel right now. But when I do have time to play, we're going to be putting the work in to get to World Series. And like I said, right now I'm 7-0 and made it 5 times last year in a row. So before you even get into a ranked seasons game, you have to have a good understanding of what you need to do at the plate and on the mound. So what we're going to do, we are going to go to practice mode really quickly. I'm going to walk you through a few tips. So first, we are going to take a look here at hitting. Now, if you're getting into the game and you're using default settings, this is what it is going to look like. I took all my settings and I reset them to default. It's going to look something like this, and that's the first mistake you're doing. If you want to make World Series, you have to sacrifice a little bit of the presentation aspect. This camera angle is way too zoomed out to actually hit the ball in Diamond Dynasty at a higher level. So you want to get away from using a camera angle like this, and you want to go to something in the strike zone area. A lot of people like to use strike zone. That is completely zoomed in. Strike zone 3 is a little less zoomed in, and strike zone 2 is right in the middle. So that's where I like to go. I like to go here, strike zone 2. Look at the difference that already makes between the default and strike zone 2. Look how much further we are zoomed in, and we could actually see the ball coming in 10 times better than we could on the default. So that is the most important thing when it comes to making World Series, is actually seeing the ball and having a better camera angle. That is going to help you hit much better right away. Now, the next thing we are going to talk about, that is going to be your PCI. Really, this is personal preference, but there are some basics in my opinion that make it a little bit better to use than the normal PCI. So like I said, this is the default. We have an outer, we have an inner. There's a lot going on. It's yellow, can't see it really too well. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to go to gameplay. We're going to go to options, and we are now going to adjust the PCI. Obviously, you want a PCI on. If you're not playing with a PCI, definitely have to do that. I would not be playing on analog or directional. You want to make sure you are playing on zone. You do not want to be using directional. Directional is not going to allow you to make the best contact with the baseball. So your hitting interface should be on zone, not directional, if you want to compete at a higher level in Diamond Dynasty. Now we're going to get to the actual PCI customization options. PCI center, that's fine. I use circle. Some people like diamonds. I don't think that matters too much. Inner, though, I actually like to go with either wedge or starfighter. Right now, I'm like a starfighter in MLB The Show 22. I like it better than basic, and I'm going to get rid of my PCI outer. I think there's too much distractions when we have an outer and an inner, so I'm just going to eliminate that. That way, the PCI is a little more focused into the middle of the strike zone. So we are getting rid of our PCI outer. The color, I don't really like yellow too much, so I'm going to go to either black or white, and I recently have been using white, and about 60 to 80% transparency is where you want to be. So we're going to keep that at 70% and fade out. Only if you're using an outer, I would definitely keep the PCI fade out setting on outer. Now let's take a look at what that looks like. Less distractions going on, more focused in the middle. I like the starfighter way better. So now let's actually get to actually hitting the ball when you're at the plate. When you're in this camera angle, you need to get a feel for the pitches that your opponent is going to throw. For my next tip, I had to switch teams really quick for the other team. That way we can get a pitcher that I actually wanted to see, because Logan Webb has a sinker and a cutter, and and in higher ranked games, people love spamming sinkers and cutters together. Those are the meta pitches. People throw them together. So you need to be able to tell the difference. You have to know if it's going to be a sinker, if it's going to break inside to you, or if it's going to be a cutter. These two pitches are absolutely essential to know how to hit and how to tell the difference. So when you're actually looking at these pitches, you want to know which one's going to break which way. So go into practice mode and just try to swing at a sinker and a cutter. Try to get rid of all the other pitches and try to get a feel of how you can actually hit a sinker and a cutter, because once you get this down, you can start doing sliders and change ups together, because those are going to be the pitches that people tend to throw together. And then once you get a feel for those pitches, you're going to be in a much better spot. And then the next thing you want to do after you get a feel for all of them is mix in all the pitches. Let them get the entire pitch repertoire going, so you can recognize all the pitches breaks together, and that is how you become a better hitter at the plate. At the plate, you also need to be extremely patient. You want to take a strike here and there because you want to get your opponent's starting pitcher out of the game as soon as possible, and taking pitches is a great way to do that. You also don't want to be swinging at a ton of pitches out of the zone. When you're playing in a higher level game, you don't want to be giving your opponent free out. So try to take a pitch here and there, get your opponent's pitch count up, and swing at the better pitches, because if you get ahead in the count, you're going to get a better pitch to hit, and that's when you take advantage. And then the final thing we'll talk about at the plate, there's a lot to go over, so I can't go into everything individually. This video would just be too long, is you should try hitting on Hall of Fame and then eventually on Legend. When you are on the verge of making a Hall of Fame division, which I believe is Division Series 700 rating, and then Championship Series is 800 rating, which is also Hall of Fame, and then Legend starts at World Series. So when you're about that 600, 650 mark, you might want to go ahead and try out Hall of Fame, because if you match with a Division Series player, you're going to be playing that game on Hall of Fame. So you want to have an idea how to hit on those higher levels. Your PCI is going to get smaller. The ball moves faster on Hall of Fame. It's going to be harder to hit the ball on Hall of Fame than it was on All-Star. So you definitely want to get a feel for the pitch speeds on higher difficulties. You want to be taking advantage, as I'm getting way out in front of all these pitches right now. Finally, we get a really good contact on that one. I don't know why he's hanging sliders, but we are destroying the baseball right now on Hall of Fame. But your PCI is going to get smaller. The pitch speed is going to speed up. So you have to be able to try Hall of Fame and Legend out, so you can get a feel for those before you actually hop into an online game. Now let's talk about pitching. And pitching is super important. You don't want to be giving up 10 runs to a good player. And if you're hanging pitches over the middle, they will take advantage of you and they will score a ton of runs. So the first thing you want to do is making sure you are using pinpoint pitching, the most beneficial pitching interface in the entire game. Learn the timing, learn how to throw all the pitches, get a feel for the pitchers that you are using, because you need to be using pinpoint pitching. If you use meter or you use pure analog stick and you are not throwing the ball exactly where you want it and you hang a pitch over the middle, you are going to pay the price for it. So you want to use pinpoint. That is going to give you the best chance, if you get 100% accuracy on your pitches, to actually throw it where you want. Again, it's going to take some time to actually get used to. I don't even get 100% on every single pitch, but it is a learning process, but it is a much needed learning process. You need to be using pinpoint pitching. And the next thing we'll talk about here with pitching is you want to keep your pitches on the corner. Obviously, here and there, they're not going to throw it exactly at the corner, especially if you're not getting 100% accuracy. They might hang a pitch here and there, but you want to be getting 100% with your pinpoint and trying to throw the ball on the corners. If you are throwing over the middle of the plate, they're going to destroy it. And also, if you're throwing balls only, they're just going to take a pitch. When you're playing better players, they have better eyes, they have better patience at the plate. If you are playing a better player, they will let you walk in runs. They're completely fine with that. They have patience at the plate. They have a good eye. They've been playing the game for a while. So you want to make sure you are using your corners. You don't want to be throwing only balls, and you don't want to be throwing the ball obviously right over the middle. You also probably noticed that I am pitching from behind the batter. Why do I like to do that? Let's take a slider, for example. When I'm pitching the slider and I am seeing it from the batter's point of view, not only can I see if they are struggling with that pitch a little bit better, because I'm seeing it from their point of view. Also, when I'm up to the plate and I'm going to face a slider, I'm getting to recognize that slider's break because I'm throwing the same exact pitch. So if someone's going to try to go low and away slider, I'm going to be able to recognize what it's looking like coming out of my own pitcher's hand. So when I see it from my opponent, I'm able to take advantage. Let's finish these settings off with fielding a little bit. Then we're going to jump back onto Diamond Dynasty and talk about some of the players that you might want to put onto your team, how to format your lineup, what you look for in a player when you're playing a Hall of Fame or on legend. So catch position indicator, we want that on drifting ball. Trust me. Defensive shift, absolutely on manual. You do not want to give up bloop doubles. Those are the difference between losing a game and winning a game. Let your opponent, if they hit it up the middle, so be it. They get a hit up the middle. You would much rather go up a hit right up the middle than give up a bloop double that definitely didn't deserve to be a hit. So keep that on manual. And off the wall ribbon, put that on. That shows if the ball is going to bounce off the wall, if it's not going to get out, it's going to hit off the fence. It's going to show you the direction it's going to bounce so you can make a play better. So make sure to turn on those settings. Now, when you're formatting your team for Diamond, Dynasty, for Hall of Fame, and on Legend, you're going to form your team differently than you do on All-Star, unless of course you have the best players in the game. Then by all means use them on All-Star, Hall of Fame, Legend, whatever difficulty you want, that's fine. But if you don't have the luxury to have 99 Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Roberto Clemente, and you have to use whichever card you can get, there are certain things you want to look for in a team. And don't really take this team I'm using right now as a great example, because right now I'm playing on All-Star. I'm only 7-0. I'm not in Hall of Fame. I'm not in Legend. But when I get to that rank, I'm going to want to fix up my team to fit that format for Hall of Fame and on Legend. So the first thing that is super important is that you want players that have a high contact rating. Something like Freddie Freeman against righties right now. His lefties is a little too low. I would want to get somebody with better contact, because when you're in Hall of Fame and Legend, like I said earlier, the contact size is going to decrease. So you want to provide yourself with the biggest PCI size you can find. So getting a player with a bigger contact rating is going to help you out a lot. Now, if you can find somebody with great contact and great power, then you'd want to go with them, obviously, but sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you're playing at Hall of Fame, and especially on Legend, you might actually want to go with somebody with better contact and less power. That way you have a better PCI, you're making better contact with the ball, and they can still drive the ball out of the ballpark. Let's take somebody like Roberto Clemente, for example. Now, Clemente, at the beginning of the year, as a 99 overall card, I mean, he's going to be insane. Just let me get to my inventory really quickly. But I know some people, when better cards start coming out, he's not going to be that good in the game anymore because he doesn't have great power, but he does have max contact against both sides. So Clemente's going to get you a great PCI size on any division, All-Star, Hall of Fame, Legend. So this is what you want from a Legend player. He has that great contact and he has decent enough power. Now, like I said, everybody's not going to be able to get Clemente right now, but maybe finding a player with 90 contact across the board, maybe even 165 power against both sides, that could work with decent defense and decent speed. That would be a good addition to your team. That would work pretty well. Bryce Harper has good contact and power against both sides, but he's not great against lefties. Maybe you want to keep somebody on your bench for the outfield. If you face a righty, you want to keep Bryce Harper on your team. But if you face a lefty, you have somebody on the bench, maybe somebody like Aaron Judge. That's going to be better against lefties. You put in Aaron Judge when you're facing a lefty, and if you're facing a righty, you keep Bryce Harper in the game. Also, you would love to get switch hitters into your lineup. You want to make sure you're formatting your lineup with enough righties, enough lefties, and switch hitting bats. If you got a full team of switch hitters, that would be great. At some point in the year, there's going to be a team that you can build full of switch hitters. That'll be some of the best hitters in the game, but right now that's not the case. But if you can get a switch hitter here and there and be always at an advantage at the plate, being able to go lefty righty, righty lefty whenever you need, that is a great thing to have on your team. But if you can't get a lot of switch hitters, I would want to say at minimum you probably want to have 3 lefties on your team and the rest be righties. And you don't want to have in your lineup, let's say if you do have 3 lefties and 6 righties, you don't want 6 righties in a row and then the 3 lefties at the bottom. You want to mix them in because people are going to play matchups in the higher level. They see you have 3 righties, they're going to bring a righty reliever into the game. If they see you have 3 lefties in a row, they're going to bring a lefty reliever in the game. You have to play smart. You got to mix them in. The last thing I'm going to say is have fun with ranked seasons. It can get sweaty, it can get aggravating, but again, it's just the game at the end of the day, and we all want to be better players at the game. We all want to make World Series, but at the end of the day, the video game is for fun. So don't get too discouraged. If you're not playing good, get off for the night, come back another day and play. It is all for fun. It's just a video game at the end of the day, but I do hope these tips helped you. All right, everyone, that's gonna do it for the video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. In the comments down below, let me know, have you ever made World Series and ranked seasons in MLB The Show, or are you going for your first World Series title this year in MLB The Show 22? Make sure to follow me on Twitch, where we're playing ranked seasons, BR, no money spent, all that good stuff. But I'll talk to you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.